Hey, it's Saturday, Self-Care Saturday with Kiri G. This week, we're going to put the self in self-care, and we are going to do a pro and con list about ourselves, about ourself. Good and bad list, positive, negative list, weaknesses and strengths, whatever you want to call them. Write down all the good stuff and write down all the bad stuff. But I want it to be from what you think, not what everybody else thinks. The things that you know to be true about you, write those things down. What's the good stuff? Are you a good listener? Have you been a good friend this year? Were you there for your mom if she was going through something this year? What's the bad stuff? Are you a bad listener? Did you and your friend get into it 8 times this past year? Have you been distant from your friends and family? Tell me in that list, what are the things that you have been doing right and what are the things that you have been doing wrong in 2018? The point of it is because every once in a while, it's good for us to know who we are. And a lot of times we get so caught up in our day-to-day that we kind of forget about, like, if we're going through a rough time, I feel like sometimes we forget about the good stuff that we're capable of or the good things, that qualities that we have. And if you're on a high sometimes, you don't remember having a challenge or a setback because you're on cloud 9. So balance is definitely the key. So in writing this pro and con list, I want everybody to be aware of how they perceive themselves. And if what you're writing on the list doesn't match up with what you get from people, then that means that there's a disconnect going on. So that's something to kind of think about. And in making sure that you take care of yourself, you want to make sure that you're being as true to you as you can be while also expressing your authenticity to other people. So you can say that you are one way, but if you are not demonstrating that to other people and they cannot agree that that is something that is a personality trait of yours, then it may not necessarily be true. You may be in your head telling yourself one thing, but when people see you, they don't see that. Like, if every day, all the time, people ask me, why am I not smiling? And I'm like, I'm happy. Trust me, I'm happy. But my face looks just like this. They don't believe it. So I can understand why a person would be like, you don't look happy. It's because I don't look happy. So you want to make sure that however you feel about yourself is matching up against the actions that you're demonstrating, so that people can understand that to be your personality. The other good thing about writing a pro and con list is a lot of times we don't believe stuff about ourselves until we see it on paper. And a lot of times things resonate a lot better when it's in our own handwriting. So in making improvements or thinking about what you're going to do for 2019, what you're doing different next year, or where did I go wrong in 2018 and what can I do to make my 2019 better, looking at your list of pros and cons, I bet you is going to help you out, because only you know what you're capable of. Only you know what your true intentions are and what your true actions are behind certain things. So only you are going to be able to accurately depict what your positives are or what your strengths are and what your areas of weaknesses or areas of improvements are. So you want to make sure that you're being honest in this list, because the point of writing it down is so that you understand who you are and you understand what you're good at and understand what you need to improve upon. So when you write down that list, be sure that you are looking at the pros and you're celebrating those things about yourself. And when you're looking at the cons or the weaknesses, you're looking at those in an effort to help improve them. So when you're making this list in 3-6 months from now, you're able to say, damn, I made some progress. So just to give you guys an example, one of the things that I noticed on my con list is that I like to keep I don't like small talk. I hate small talk. I tell people all the time, I don't want to talk about the weather. I don't want a million times for us to ask how each other's are doing, how your family. I hate small talk. But that's something that I need to work on. As a person who wants to, be a counselor, work in psychology, and interact with lots of different people, not only face to face, but also online and recording these videos and stuff, I need to learn that small talk is how people get to know each other. Small talk is how people connect. And sometimes small talk is all some people can fucking do. So with that being said, I need to learn more patience for individuals who may not necessarily be able to have a long, in-depth conversation with me or be like super substantive. I can't even talk. People who have conversations with substance, since I'm trying to use big words and stuff. I need to be a little bit more lenient with that. And then just also, I know that I don't want everybody to have a long, drawn-out conversation with me. So me being able to appreciate small talk is something that I also need to work on. Because sometimes I do want to let a person know, like, hey, what's up, how you doing? But because I don't like small talk, I want to keep it moving. I need to slow down and make sure that I am taking care of those interactions too. Like, don't dismiss somebody just because I don't feel like having small talk with them when this is a person who I actually genuinely wanted to talk to, or someone who I didn't want to talk to, and because they have long drawn out conversations, then I'm just like, I don't have time to make small talk and I'm trying to get away from it. I just need to be patient with people and not expect that people can communicate or talk about the things that I want to talk about all the time. That's something that's very selfish about myself, and I've realized that in kind of just interacting with people. So that's something that for 2019 I'm going to be a little bit more cognizant of and make a real effort to just like shut up and listen sometimes and entertain small talk even when I don't want to. So Self-Care Saturday, write down your list of your positives, write down the list of your negatives. Celebrate the positives, work on improving the negatives, and have a wonderful, happy Saturday.